Hey everyone, once again, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking about self-actualization, which is actually self-mastery instead of self versus self-destruction. All right, I'll see you on the other side. All right, so you've heard of self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence. Everybody's throwing those words. There's a sequence to it to actually go to self-actualization, which is your true self, your full potential, or what now is called by Deepak Chopra, I believe, the meta-humans. So if you're living or you're interested in living 12 sensory experience or 12 sensory living, which means you're going beyond your 5 senses, you want to also reach what's called self-mastery. So what is self-mastery? It's a sequence of 7 steps, all right, that lead to there. The first sequence, or the first thing, is called self-awareness. It's to become aware that you have impact and others have impact on you. Now, for those people that don't recognize that, they usually end up all the way up to self-destruction instead of self-mastery or self-actualization. For today, for this video, I'm going to focus on self-actualization because it's just a little introduction. I'm going to use a whiteboard and another one and give you the link for it a little bit later. I just want to get into it so you get a little taste of what actually self-actualization is, so you start having your subconscious mind start reaching for it and synchronicity bring it to you and manifest it in your life. So, self-awareness, as I said, step number 1. So if you look at a pyramid, that's at the bottom. It's the foundation of all of it. So self-awareness means you're aware that you have impact and that others have impact on you. So an example is if I'm going to eat at a restaurant or I go buy myself some fast food and then I take it all, I eat it, and I throw the junk outside, that means either I don't care or I'm not aware of the fact that I'm destroying the environment by throwing whatever, McDonald's junk on the floor or whatever, all right? So over time, if everybody does that, at one point somebody's gonna be doing, like climate change is happening right now, saying, you know what, we're realizing now that we have impact on our environment and the climate is showing us, listen, if you keep messing stuff up, I'm gonna mess you up, all right? So very simple, let's get on to the next one. Once you have self-awareness, the other thing that is the most important is called self-worth. Now, self-worth for a lot of people means I have a lot of money, I'm worth it, all right? So for those people, usually you'll see on the dark side, which is the self-destruction side, all the way up, is self-centeredness, all right? They think they know it all, they think they're all that because they have money, okay? Self-worth has nothing to do with your balance sheet. It has nothing to do with your personal or business finances. Self-worth has to do with your relationship with God. God is all that is, or whatever religion you believe in. It's given. Do you hear me? It's given. Given means you have nothing to do for it, but to recognize it. And even that's hard, all right? You need to recognize it. And it doesn't mean, well, I'm broke and I have self-worth, that I'm worth somebody, I'm better than the one who's rich who has no self-worth. That doesn't work like that. Self-worth is recognizing your human dignity. So usually when I tell people, especially when I work with people, one point I was working with some immigrants to help them out, and they're from another country and they didn't feel they had the same value here as they do in their country and vice versa, all right? In that point of view, I usually relate it back to something very simple, because I'm Canadian, to the Chart of Human Rights, okay? Human dignity. If you're part of another country, Canada's not your country, no problemo. You want to use the United Nations if you want. Use whatever works to recognize that it is given. It's yours. You have the same value as I do, as the bum on the street, as the billionaire flying on a Learjet across the world. It is the same value. It is called human life. Same value. You can't have any more, you can't have any less. Now you need to recognize that to go to the other ones. The other one is self-esteem. So as you have recognized that you have self-worth, then you can properly, estimate and evaluate yourself and what you're creating. Self-esteem, like anything else, they're all calibrating instruments, all right? You're calibrating what you're creating. Now, most people, what they do is because of low self-worth, because, we were born, we weren't that rich, and this family was rich, and they had everything, and they had the nice family, whatever the story, you start comparing yourself, and that's where the negative ego comes in, all right? So what happens is that due to self-esteem, you compare yourself, you lower yourself, okay? In French, we say, je suis pas à la hauteur, means I'm not at the same height, meaning to say you see people higher here because they have money or more success. Whereas success, anybody that's truly successful will tell you they can't define it for you because it's individual. It's up to you to decide what success is for you. So self-esteem, the way to use it the most is recognizing when you're creating something, did you get it or you didn't get it? Did you manifest it or not? Estimate and evaluate. This is what I wanted, that's not what I got. I need to use the feedback loop to decide, okay, I'm gonna do it again. Okay, I messed up the relationship, I'm gonna do it again. What did I mess up, okay? If you don't do self-esteem or you don't recognize it and use it in that sensing, and you go towards the dark side, you're gonna go to what's called self-importance, or what I call pricks, all right? I'm probably sure you've heard it in your own language also. A prick is somebody that feels they're all self-important. It's all about them, and I got this, and I got the car, and I got the house, and whatever they have. They are giving them self-importance. So that's why no matter what they say, they'll never feel it, and eventually it messes up for them, which leads us to self-love. Now, self-esteem, you have to work at it. Self-love is not earned, it's also given. You have to recognize it and give it to yourself in terms of recognizing, okay, I'm gonna give myself enough compassion that when I'm making mistakes, I can recognize those mistakes and then work from there and love myself more to be able to heal, to be able to recognize that, you know what, I am a loving person. You know what, I can love somebody. I can offer them security, I can offer them pleasure, I can actualize for them to love in terms of intellectuality, all those things, all right? In terms of not getting self-love, then you have people that are like self-serving. And you see a lot of those people, they break up in a relationship and all of a sudden, I need to love myself now. I've given so much to others, now I need to take care of myself. And they become so self-serving or what, selfish if you want, that you're like, okay, I can't be with this person anymore. It's all about me, 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 me. Okay? Whatever they do it for themselves. Instead of loving themselves, they want people to give to them because they're so important and they are also self-serving. Leading us on to self-confidence, which is after self-love. So self-confidence has to do with your ability to rely on your positive ego, all right? Your ability to also adapt. So it's an ability, which means to create after facts, which is created from your self-worth, from your self-esteem, from your self-love, to then self-confidence and gives you actually confidence to be able to trust. If you are, again, towards more the dark side and you keep moving up the ladder, you're gonna be what's called self-delusional, all right? There's some people, no matter what you tell them, they have this ego in the back of their head that makes them inflated confidence. Inflated ego, inflated head, whatever you call it, all right? It's called false confidence. They're delusional. They think they can do stuff when you look at them and think, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I wouldn't touch that. Why? Because they overstretch their confidence because, again, they give themselves the allure of self-importance. They're always self-serving. It's always them, 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 them. And obviously, they're delusional. And you see people like that and I'm like, they're delusional. And some people, I'm not delusional. Unfortunately, you are, all right? So to get back on track, what you do is you recognize, okay, am I evaluating this properly, okay? If I jump this building, am I actually gonna reach the other one or splatter my head down the floor? If I go for this assignment and you're gonna butch it up and destroy the whole team, or yes, I'm confident enough to be able to do it because I've studied it, I've learned from others, I'm able to listen to others, and then work with others. All right? Now, after self-confidence comes self-respect. Again, I'm going to go into detail one after the other with a board a little bit later, just to give you a little bit of taste. Self-respect is your ability to honestly, genuinely respect your own emotions. All right? It's also respecting your boundaries and your own limits. According to what you're confident enough to do, according to the estimates and evaluations of what you're doing when you're creating reality. All right? If you don't respect yourself and you go beyond and beyond, you're just going to hurt yourself. It's very simple. Okay? And for those people that go from self-delusion to self-indulgence, it's never enough. They don't respect nothing. It's always more, 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 until at one point, if you don't stop from that point on, you know, you better change lifetimes because you're just going to destroy yourself. It's never enough. Never enough. All right? And they don't respect anything. And so eventually they destroy themselves. So in terms of self-respect, what's most important after that is self-actualization, is the big kahuna. You're there. All right? You've realized that you know your boundaries, you know your strength, you know what you're capable of, you've developed a maturity to be able to consciously create success. And if not, unfortunately, you're going to self-destruction. Actually, you're going to hell, really, instead of heaven. Okay? Not that those concepts are actually real, but the point of the matter is, one is a world in which you manifest your true potential, and the other one is the one in which you probably exit in a really bad way. All right? So I hope this video helped. If you liked them, click like. If you have any questions, please comment. Make sure to subscribe on the YouTube channel. And if ever you want, also the Facebook page. And I'll see you in our next video. And like I said, I'm going to expand a little bit on this, and you're going to be seeing the drawing or the sequence down at the bottom. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next videos.